The Eagles, Seven Bridges Road. All right, very vocal heavy song, of course, but we get this jamming acoustic stuff that comes in also, and it's not too wild. It's just three chords really. Just got to get them in the right order, and there's some like fun picking and hammer-on techniques that go with it. Okay, so let's just jump through all these parts here, and then I'll give you some more detail on it. Okay, so for starters, you just kind of want to do like some intro buffer measures here. And basically, we're going to kick it off with a D chord. Okay. And the way you want to do this is you kind of want to hit the bass note, the open D, then the rest of the chord. Okay, and then we're going to do this hammer on from open G to second. Okay, and then we would hit the chord again. So just get that kind of vibe going. The bass note, strum, hammer on, strum, that type of deal. Okay, so it'd be something like. And it happens about twice per measure, that whole cycle. And like I said, these are just kind of some intro buffer measures. So you could do it a couple times, 4 times, basically until, the vocal starts. And once the vocal starts, then we get into like the main progression. So let me just, show you what a couple measures of this sounds like for the intro. Okay, and now we can get into this main progression here. So essentially, once the vocal starts, then we're taking that, initial D measure and just applying it to the verse progression here. So sticking with kind of the same deal. We'll end it slightly different because we're going to lead up into another chord. So it'd be like this, where we do our bass note, chord, hammer on, chord, bass note, chord. So it'd be okay, to about that far. But at this point, we want to do some walk-up notes here for a C chord. So to do that, we would do open A to second. All right, and that would lead us to our C chord. And with that C chord, we're going to do a similar thing to that D, where we hit the bass note, hit the chord, and we do our hammer on. And as you might guess, we're going to hammer on open to second on the D now. Okay, and then hit the chord. But here we can add a little something extra and hit an open G, and then the chord again. Okay, so instead of like going back to the bass note, we just switch to hitting an open G instead. All right, and then from there it'd be the same deal, where we hit the chord, do our hammer on to the open second D, and then chord again. Okay, so slowly that C measure would be like this. Okay, and then after that measure, we go to a G chord. This would be our third and final chord of the song. And this here is a little more just straightforward, kind of how like the D was, where we do bass note here at the 3 of the E, hit the chord, do our hammer on, open to second on the A, chord, and then we can throw in this open D now. Okay, and then the chord, hammer on, chord. Okay, so slowly here, the G measure. Right. And then we would get back to our D measure. And with this D measure here, the last one, you don't really need to worry about those walk-up notes at the end. You can just kind of do it how the intro was. Okay. And, a little note here. basically that last measure of D, you could just keep riding that out, just keep repeating it until the vocal starts again, and that will be your cue to restart the progression, okay? So whenever you hear the vocal come in, just take that as that first measure of the progression now. All right, so now let's try this whole progression now up to tempo. Let you hear how that sounds. All right, and despite the name of the song, there is only one bridge in this song, so bad joke. Anyway, the bridge section, pretty simple. We just kind of rearrange some things, and we kick it off with a C chord, and you can strum it the same way we did the C chord in the verse pattern there, but the thing is, you want to do 2 measures worth of this. Okay, so... Okay, get a good 2 measures of it. And then we switch to a D. And this you can do, normal intro style. But you only want to do about a measure of it. And if you want, you can just keep going on with another measure just like you did. But they do kind of add some cool little scaly, picky things here for this last measure of the D if you want to put them in. And for the most part, it's something like this where we're just going to be picking around, pulling off on some notes here where we could do like a 2 to open on the D, then 3 to open on the A, back to open D, then you could do 3 to open A, back to open D, and then a quick scale down of 2 open D, 2 open A to 3 E. Alright, and then that would get us right back into the C chord to restart the bridge, because you go through the whole thing twice. Okay, so just once again, slowly through that last measure, it'd be something like... Okay, just some quick little picky pull-off things in there, based around that D chord. All right, so now we can just put this bridge together. I'll show you how it sounds. Thanks for checking out the video, everybody. Like it, share it, leave a comment. It's always good to hear from you. Do me a favor and hit the subscription button. I put out a video pretty frequent, so you don't want to miss out on that. Check out the links in the description box below. I have really cool links for tablature books, all the gear I use, t-shirts, fun stuff like that. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.